Hey everyone, welcome to the StarCraft 2 Zombies community YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing a replay review of a 4 vs 8 AI on a map called 4 Musketeers. And what makes this game kind of special is that this was actually random spawns. And so you can see here the 4 human players, and then you can see here the 8 AI players. And with that, we also this also was a Zombiebounty challenge we had last month. If you don't know what Zombiebounty challenges are, on the StarCraft 2 Zombies Discord server, we post these challenges every week or a couple times a month that allow you to kind of challenge your zombie skills in different kinds of um, you know settings and make up some maps. So this was a 4 vs 8 random spawn on 4 Musketeers, and the 4 Musketeers map is definitely very challenging because the map is in such close quarters. And so you can see here that players are spawning right next to AI, and the zombies are right here in the middle, so they're very close to where some of the human players are spawning. And also, like in most AI games, zombies are allied to the AI, and so you'll see in this map that it's really 4 versus 8 versus AI. So I wanted to do a replay review of this map because I thought it was just a really good example of how to um, beat AI, especially Cheater 3 AI, when you're outnumbered on maps that are kind of more normal in their makeup compared to these kind of money maps. So let's jump in and start looking at some of what's going on here. So for starters, we see something really interesting kind of going on over here, and that is that our player SoPro was able to pull off a planetary fortress in the AI's base. And I thought this was really interesting. I didn't know this about AI, but AI really, especially Cheater 3, when they have vision of the map, only respond to certain types of buildings being built close to their base, and command centers typically don't tend to be one of them. So here we see a really interesting strategy being pulled out by SoPro, where he was able to get a planetary off right by their base, and right off the bat kill one of the AI. It also has the added bonus of drawing all the AI's attention from around the map to this one spot, which will ultimately give red and blue, and then even black more wiggle room to kind of build up, especially as the zombies start to attack. So yeah, right off the bat, I thought this was a really cool strategy when it comes to you know versing AI when you're outnumbered, especially Cheater 3 AI.
Our allies' base is under attack. Add-on.
You see here that at the top, red has opted for a quick expo, and so has blue, and black here is also getting his expo in the back.
Our allies' base.
Eventually, it looks like SoPro here, purple, is going to get overrun.
Add-on complete.
And red
Additional supply
over here is starting to create kind of a defensive wall, which is a really good strategy when you're versing AI. Oftentimes, when players verse AI, they can sometimes fall into the trap of just building really tight bases, which limits how much space they have and also can kind of limit their ability to grab an expo. But you see here with blue and red, they're kind of getting this wall action kind of going on, which red is actually using to kind of creep in on the AI here on the right,
Are being attacked.
which is going to give him um, kind of a foothold in order to make kind of more aggressive attacks onto his base. Now we see here Black in the corner getting hit by a pretty large army. This is why this map can be so difficult, because not only do you have the zombies hitting, but you have, you know, eight AI hitting you all at once, and it can just become really difficult. But he's using really great micro, you know, rather than just kind of losing his tanks by keeping him sieged. He's kind of, you know, pulling back to the high ground, which is allowing him to pull back to his expo and perhaps survive longer than he would have.
Hey, your base is under attack, man.
And so going back to red and blue, another really great strategy when you're kind of building these large cannon defensive walls is to do it behind your main buildings. If your cannons don't have to take the brunt of the damage, then that is usually a good thing, and you can do that by, you know, putting up these buildings here in the front. Now, even though they are kind of your production buildings, what they force the zombies to do is kind of crawl around the buildings in order to get to your defenses, which, you know, can give you those extra few minutes, or excuse me, seconds, to kind of kill those zombies before they actually get into your defensive line. And so you can see it here as well. The zombies have to kind of walk around the buildings, and that gives the cannons just a few extra seconds to kill the zombies before they start killing them. So we go back here to purple. So as we see here, you know, rushes do usually cost players, you know, in the long run a little bit. So you can see here that because of that opening command center, Sorpro is, you know, behind compared to his allies, who are, you know, already putting out some void rays and carriers and whatnot. And we also see here that Black has, you know, completely lost his base, but is going to try and make a comeback here. So here we see a lot of AI pushing in to blue. He's losing a lot of his kind of ground army, but thankfully he built his cannons behind his buildings, so it is kind of forcing the zombies and the AI to have to kind of move through his structures, which is giving his carriers a bit more margin to kind of fend them off. As you see here with blue, he's keeping his sky toss very tight. He's not letting any one of his units kind of move away and get kind of here left out in the open, where AI or zombies would easily snipe them. We see here that red has recovered, and he's got 5 stargates up, which is allowing him to finally kind of finish off pink. But we got a big army coming in here from green. Black is slowly rebuilding. He was able to salvage some starports and get some liberators up, which is great. And then here you see that defensive line I was talking about earlier. Purple's now doing it as well, getting these liberators up, which is going to allow them to slowly kind of crawl down here to grab these expos. And that's oftentimes what you have to do with these types of starting positions when you're playing AIs. You have to kind of slowly crawl, you know, vertically or horizontally across the map, because building out oftentimes leaves you exposed and allows the AI or the zombies to flank you, and nothing's more deadly than a flank where someone's able to hit you from both sides. So Red here is getting to a spot of um, real air superiority here. Usually around 20 carriers is pretty formidable and pretty difficult to stop for AI. Because one thing to know about AI is that their micro gets confused by units that um, don't have like straightforward attacking. So, like for instance, liberators don't have straightforward attacking. Siege tanks don't have straightforward attacking. They create these radiuses around them, and that can be really kind of confusing for AI, and can be something that players can kind of exploit. But it looks here that a lot of AI are hitting red. However, we're seeing here another really great strategy by red. Red isn't just throwing his whole army at the AI and losing it all. He's preserving his army, even though he knows he's going to lose his base. And that's important because it means that even though he loses his base, he can still do something. He can still participate in the game in some way. Here we see black has kind of rebuilt some defenses. We see here blue has also gotten to kind of some air superiority and is now finally finishing off his neighbor. Yeah, so here we see red, instead of losing his army, knowing that it would be pointless to just throw it away, he decided to save it. And this is allowing him to kind of get some work done on these AI expos. You see here that purple is starting to get into some VCs, which is what's eventually going to allow him to knock out the AI. But a lot of AI are coming down here to knock on blue's door. So again, this is just a 4 versus 8 regular zombie bounty. This is pretty much as close to just a ladder game as you can get, with the exception of these richer starting bases. Another great micro move here by blue, using the open water to kind of pull out the AI air units and limit how much the ground units could hit him. But again, though, we have a lot of big armies still moving around the map. Looks like this AI is going for black. Poor black has been just hit a lot this game. But here we see red, totally lost his base, but able to still get some work done. Again, the AI kind of being confused by the carriers and attacking the interceptors. Starting to wise up now. But again, back to attacking interceptors. Which is why carriers can be so deadly sometimes, because the AI doesn't know how to use it. But purple still being alive does allow red to kind of, regroup and then attack out. Here we see blue really kind of fighting for his life here, killing the AI, but a lot of AI here coming to try and kill him. But again, though, another important strategy in playing AI and zombies is you got to constantly just be rebuilding your defensive line. So often, people play AI or zombies and they just kind of get into kind of a passive state with defense, where they build their defense and then they never touch it again. But you really gotta, especially when you're playing these imbalanced games, you definitely have to kind of stay on top of rebuilding all your defenses. So we see here, blue just continuing to rebuild. Purple and red have enough here to start kind of doing some damage against the AI. Another thing to note about AI is that AI rarely, if ever, will upgrade their weapons and armor. And so, um, you know, if you can upgrade your weapons and armor even just a little bit, they can give you that decisive advantage against AI. All right, so that's I think 2 AI down. They have 6 to go. Yellow here is really starting to do some work on Blue's base. But Blue's got a pretty powerful sky toss, which is helpful. And of course the AI have this whole right side of the map. Alright, so everyone's taking a little break right now. Looks like Red was able to get off a probe, so he's going to try and rebuild his base. Black, I think, has finally gotten to a critical mass with his Liberators, so he can start trying to rebuild and get back in the game. Blue is basically maxed on air toss, and so he's going for it against all the AI's army, which again, you know, interceptors and carriers are really so good because AI doesn't always know how to kind of work on them or attack them. Purple and red coming in from the top to finish green, which they've been whittling away. And so at this point of the game, this team that was doing the 4vs8 is doing some really cool strategies. And the strategy that I thought was really cool at this moment in the game was the fact that they're kind of doing a two-pronged attack. And you can see here when you do a two-pronged attack, it really confuses the AI. The AI are just kind of going back and forth. They don't really know who to help. Do they help yellow? Do they help green? Even though they got 3 massive armies, they're not committing to kind of attacking anyone. And that is, you know, why I think two-pronged attacks can oftentimes be very powerful against the AI. Looks like now they're finally going to commit to blue, but by this point it's too late. The Zerg is already dead, and with Max Skytoss army, essentially, all that blue needs to do is just kill these Vikings and Liberators, and it's GG. Here comes purple, sneaking in behind pink, who's currently away from his base, and honestly was weakened by starting next to red. Thankfully red, while he was next to pink, was able to kind of weaken him a great deal. So now that purple is maxed at VCs, he can kind of come in and finish that AI off. So much of playing AI is kind of a long game. You know, what you kind of do against the AI in the beginning can affect what happens against them in the middle and also kind of the end. And so we saw that in this game, from the planetary rush to red kind of cannoning in on big space, and even black being able to stay alive drew some of the attention of green and brown, which meant the other AI didn't have to deal with as much. At this point in the game, it looks like it's pretty much going to be GG. The AI just has a handful of men left to do something with, and there really is only 3 main AI bases remaining. Black is now finally back in the game, pulling a strategy that is usually pretty good if you're somebody in an AI game that has kind of died and you know, isn't quite sure what to do. This is usually a good strategy, just to kind of make a unit that is mobile, make a unit that can do little kind of like critical strike attacks. And so you see here that even though Tasha's army, Black's army doesn't pales in comparison to the AI, he was able to at least go in and snipe the CC, which is great, you know, because when the AI kills you but you still want to stay in the game and try and do something, doing little counter strikes like that can be a great way to kind of still contribute to the game, even if you're dead. So, yeah, at this point, it's now just finishing off the AI. Um,
Our allies' base
these
is
guys
under
have slowly whittled away at the AI and hung in there in this very difficult
attack.
4 versus 8.
Our allies
And yeah, this is, I think, a really great game for anybody who likes to play AI. Really a challenging map for anyone who likes to play AI,
Our allies are being
especially on random spawn. When it's not random spawn, players will start here in these 4 bases in the middle. But obviously, when random spawn's on, players can start kind of anywhere on the map. So.
Our allies are being attacked.
So yeah, hopefully this map gave you some good food for thought on any AI games you're playing, on just regular Zombie Bounty, and how to kind of leverage AI mechanics and leverage AI behavior and mechanics to kind of win the game, especially when you're playing against zombies as well. Red is now completely back on the game, and so if the game were to go on for another 5 minutes or so, you'd probably be able to get back up to making cares and get maxed again. Purple's great, he's got 3-2 weapons, and this team has really done a phenomenal job surviving this difficult map. And everyone in the end had a base, even though red and black lost their bases. They hung in there, they retreated, able to kind of come back from the brink. Well, for more videos on zombies, feel free to come uh, back to the channel and check out more replay reviews and videos on zombies. And look forward to seeing you online or seeing you on the Discord. GG.